So let me give you guys an update on my Dragon Ball figure collection. And I actually like filming this on this new phone here, on my music phone slash video phone slash photo phone. You could actually see them a bit up close without me even being up close. And I'm going to show another figure that's non-Dragon Ball related and why it is now considered with an emotional attachment to it as a figure, sentimental, if you will. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started now. So I actually am gonna climb up to show you guys, like before. It just makes my job, I feel like, a bit easier, if you guys don't mind, because there are some new Dragon Ball figures that have been added to this. Let's go. So the first new Dragon Ball figure from SH Figuarts, and I actually found this at my local secondhand game store. Actually, they had a couple of them. They had this one right here, Demon King Piccolo, and they had of course, Piccolo Jr. And these boxes with these figures are not that big, actually. They may look big on camera, but I can tell you, definitely with now seeing them in person, they're actually not quite that big. They're actually more so this size, but maybe a tad bit, maybe a centimeter or two smaller, but definitely the size as in these boxes. So they're not as big as people expect them to be, and there's a couple of them, right, that are no more than the size of just the window itself. So they're actually not that big like people make them out to be, I guess, online or, other YouTube channels per se. And I've been seeing a couple of them, a couple of the SH Figuarts actually pop up in Walmart. So for those that see this video, who go to Walmart and figure hunt or look around in the quote-unquote adult section of figures, if you will, when it comes to like Dragon Ball and stuff like that, like where they have them towards the movie section. Let me know if you guys have been seeing SH Figuarts pop up in Walmart, because I've seen a couple of them now. I've seen a couple of them. But this is actually really, really cool. I couldn't pass it up for the price, so that was really great. Next one, of course, I got Bruce Lee. Now, for old school Dragon Ball fans, before Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, before Dragon Ball Kai, before Dragon Ball Super, and a little bit during or after Dragon Ball AF, those who are my age, who are in their 30s now, like me, I'm about to be 33, so, old school Dragon Ball back in the day, and a little bit of a history lesson for some of the younger viewers. If you don't know who Bruce Lee is, look him up. Like, he is the closest thing to a real-life Goku. And he made a cameo, or I guess a character cameo appearance in Dragon Ball and fought Goku. Granted, the real Bruce Lee didn't voice him for the Japanese dub or the English dub, because Bruce Lee did unfortunately pass away before Dragon Ball was launched. So that's why I have him here, because Akira Toriyama was inspired by Bruce Lee to make the character of Goku, and inspired by Bruce Lee's movies to make Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, GT, inspiration even when it came to Kai, and then even with Dragon Ball Super. So a lot of inspiration really came from this man right here. So that's why I have him here, because he does play a very important role in Dragon Ball history. Without the influence of Bruce Lee, there wouldn't be no Dragon Ball. There just wouldn't be it. And Bruce Lee talked about, spirituality, religion, and God hierarchy, and that is the inspiration for Dragon Ball Super. So yeah. And of course, next, we got Bardock right here. I love this figure. Again, it's just one of my I love that they did re-release this figure for updated. You know, the old school figure I used to have, it didn't do much. It was mainly a statue figure. Again, man, for those that are my age, you know what I'm talking about back then in the 90s, you know. Hey, a lot of the figures were like statues, man. Then, of course, you got Super Saiyan, Bardock. A lot of people were not thrilled with this figure because it's like, oh, it's not canon. Well, a lot of the old heads like myself love this, okay? Let us have this. Let us. Because without Bardock and without Goku's mother, Gine, Goku would never be born. Think about that. Think about that. Goku wasn't even a sperm cell yet in his daddy's sack. Here, of course, we got these two old school vintage Dragon Ball figures from back in the day from Earn Toys. These is when, of course, again, for those that are my age, you guys already know this was the closest thing to articulation we had in figures back in the day. Wow. This one was a rarity. I'm still hoping, there's still hope that they will come out with this figure and make it in more articulated like these ones. I'm still hoping. I'm glad I got that. This is, of course, during the Android Cell Saga training when Goku was in the hyperbolic time chamber with Gohan. Again, for the younger viewers that, you know, grew up with Super, I really do recommend that you guys really go back and check out the other series that came before Super, you know, so you can get a good understanding and a lot of better lore to the series, if you will. And I know a lot of younger viewers like, well, Goku didn't have Super Saiyan God back then. Well, I'm not going to be one of those other YouTubers that are going to bash you guys, but understand something, like, we all begin somewhere in life, and we all have to build up to our prime and to our peak over the years. And you see a lot of the blood, sweat, and tears and the struggle that Goku went through in order him to get Ultra Instinct, you know. But, you know, like for those that who may see this, who are younger, you know, if you play sports, you know, you practice and you go to practice and you play games to get better and better over the years until one day you may get drafted to the NBA or the NFL, right? Because they draft you for your skills because you had so much practice and experience underneath your belt. And then when you get to the professional leagues, that's when it gets tough. But you get even more practice, you get even more experience. And that is the reason why Goku has the powers that he has now, because he began with only a power level of 5, and he worked his way up. He did. But this is one of my favorite figures because of those angel wings, man. And of course we got base form Goku, Super Saiyan Goku as well. I'm hoping one day they make a Super Saiyan 2 figure Goku, because Super Saiyan 2 is such a very underestimated form, in my opinion. Super Saiyan 3 and Super Saiyan 4 right there. I kind of keep going here. And there is some good news. Now, I don't know when it's going to happen, but we saw some figures that are going to be released. They are releasing a Master Roshi for Dragon Ball Stars. That's supposed to be coming out in the next couple of months. So I have that on pre-order online. And with the SH Figuarts for the US, they're going to be releasing this Super Saiyan God Goku with the red hair in the SH Figuarts form for the US, along with Khalifa. I don't know when that's going to be, but when it does, when those two figures do drop here for the US, you guarantee you I'm going to be getting those immediately. I don't care how much it's going to cost me, because when I saw this online, I thought it was bigger than what it looked, and it wasn't. And I'm glad they are releasing Super Saiyan God Goku for the US and the bigger forms, even if it's for the SH figure line. And I've been wanting a Khalifa figure, and I'm glad they're making that fusion character. I am going to be getting that as well, along with that Master Roshi. So that's very good, especially for Dragon Ball figure collectors. The only thing we can do is pretty much just keep an eye out and when they drop. You know what I'm saying? Then we got 2 Super Saiyan Blue Gokus. One in his Resurrection F key from the Resurrection of F movie. And of course the turn to Universe 7 versus Universe 6 look. I like this look though. I really like this look for Goku more because, again, you know, for those who are my age, we grew up seeing Goku with this look from, geez, Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z. You know, we don't want to see it no more. We don't. We want Goku to have his ki change, which he does eventually. But I'm glad they did release this though in this figure, because for a while it wasn't exclusive for the US for a while. And I'm glad they made it for the US now, because you could only get this over across seas, man, and they wouldn't sell it to you in the US either. So I'm glad that they did release this like that. Don't get me wrong, it is a figure to get. Then you got Ultra Instinct Omen and Mastered Ultra Instinct from the Tournament of Power. Here we got Hit. He's a new one that I bought. I'm glad I did get him because I was looking at him for a while and I like it, but they just down my boy so bad in the show like they did with Pikkon. For the older heads like me, you know who Pikkon is. For the younger viewers, again, skip. There's a filler arc in Dragon Ball Z, Goku in the Afterlife, where he goes into a otherworld tournament and he fights somebody named Pikkon that looks a little bit like Piccolo and a little bit like Hit, and Pikkon was the inspiration for the Hit design. So I'm pretty sure, you know, go and watch those episodes. Go and watch that little filler arc. It really is enjoyable. I'm pretty sure you can find bits and pieces and clips on YouTube as well. It sucks that they never made a Pikkon figure, because Pikkon plays a huge role. And I mean a huge role. For the younger audience, let me tell you how huge a role Hit plays. Or no, not Hit, Pikkon. If it wasn't for Pikkon almost sacrificing himself, Fusion Gogeta in the movie Fusion Reborn, right? If it wasn't for Pikkon sacrificing himself in order for Goku and Vegeta to form to make Gogeta, this guy would exist in the movie Fusion Reborn. So go and check out that movie, and trust me, you'll like Pikkon. Pikkon's a cool character, man. He really is. So I am glad I got Hit. Of course, we got Base Form Super Saiyan Vegeta as well. Of course, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. I'm hoping, since they are doing new characters now and doing some good, you know, I guess somewhat re-releases to certain figures, there's hoping that they're gonna do a Super Saiyan God Vegeta in the red hair. There is hoping. I hope so, man, because again, that is a huge missed business opportunity for the toy company. Like, companies like making money, right? Dragon Ball is a money-making franchise with the shows, movies, the merchandise, the video games, especially when it comes to the figures. If they do not take advantage of that, then something is terribly wrong business-wise. Because they can make tons of money if they just do that. They can. They can. Now, some people are like, what about Ultra Instinct or Ultra Ego? I hate that name. I really do. I'm sorry, but I do not agree with the writing that's been going on in the manga for Dragon Ball Super. The writing is damn near horrible. I'm sorry. It's just crappy. There's some good ideas, poor execution, but it's not an Ultra Instinct form for Vegeta. It's got a destruction form like Top had or Topo and Dragon Ball Super during the Tournament of Power. That's what that is. Now, if they do a figure of Vegeta in his Ultra Ego form, I'm not going to pass it up, but it has to look good in color, and I do know, I think in November they are going to be releasing the official color image of Vegeta in that new form. I'm pretty sure it might be like a dark purple with some blue in it, to be quite honest. I think so. But yeah, of course we got Trunks here. Not much going on with that. We got Team Gohan from the Cell games, from Super Saiyan 1 to Super Saiyan 2 right here. And we have, of course, these two vintage Gohan figures. You guys saw me talk about that numerous amount of times. Again, I am hoping that they do re-release these figures in updated forms in the Super line or the Star line. We got Mystic or Ultimate Gohan, always a great figure. And we got Piccolo. Yeah, we do got Piccolo. And we got these two right here. We got base form Broly. I can't tell you how long people might have been wanting black-haired Broly. Black-haired Broly. We can't. Oh, it's been a long time. Now, I got this, you know, his legendary form, his full power Super Saiyan form right there. From the movie Broly. The original Broly I would not get. I like the movies. The figure is what I have a problem with. Why? Because Broly has two other forms way before he gets to this form. Way before he gets, matter of fact, 3 forms. I take that back. 3 forms before he goes into his legendary form with the original OG Broly. He had the original OG Broly. For those that are my age, you know what I'm talking about. For the younger ones, let me give you a bit of a history lesson. Old school Broly, way before they remade him, right? Yes, he had black hair, and he was really thin. Like, he was Gohan thin in this. And when he transformed into his Super Saiyan state, he actually had a bit of bluish... Where's that arm at? A bit of bluish purple in that transformation. It was a bit of bluish purple. And that type of hair color, I think what Vegeta's going to have in his official color palette before his form Ultra Ego. But old school Broly in his Super Saiyan form had a mixture of this type of blue and that purple before his legendary form. Now, in the movie Broly Second Coming, he did transform into Super Saiyan, and he had the regular Super Saiyan hair, so he no longer had his, I wouldn't even know what you would call it. Again, it was blue and like a turquoise bluish purple. He didn't have that in the second movie. They gave him the regular Super Saiyan hair color, and then he transformed into his legendary state. And I'm hoping that they give us those first 3 forms of old school Broly. I really hope they do. Because those are the ones I would like to have. I don't want to see or keep seeing, you know, the re-release of legendary Broly in his big bulky form. I'm sorry, but for those that are my age, you know what I'm talking about. We saw way too much of that figure in stores back in the day. But again, just a bit of a history lesson for the younger ones. Here we got, of course, these 2 fusions. We have the original Gogeta fusion and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Of course, we got all 3 transformations of Vegito. Let me sit down. Of Vegito. I am glad. Let me tell you guys something, man. I was so glad that I got these 2. Because for such a long time, I did not want to get these 2 right here because of the face sculpt. But I'm glad that I got them when I did, because let me tell you something. You can't find these now. You can find that one, but you can't find these 2 now. So I'm glad that I did get those 2, and I'm glad I got all 3. Now, I'm glad I got all 3 of the newer fusions of Gogeta. Back during Fusion Reborn, when they first tried to do the fusion, they did mess up, and rather than having the Super Saiyan hair in the original one, there was actually a black hair Gogeta, but he was fat, and of course it was the fusion because they messed up on it. They're still hoping that they might do the original Gogeta in black haired form. I doubt it, but I'm glad they did it for the new one, because for so long I've been wanting a black haired Gogeta. Like, it just looks so good. So good. And then the Super Saiyan Gogeta, and of course Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta. And I think this blue, I think it just looks way more better than the regular blue. I really do. I really love that blue. I can't tell you how much I adore that color. It's just really nice color. Then we got the old school re-release of 17 and Android 18. And I'm glad they are doing the actual official releases to these here for the US. I am so glad they actually are doing the official releases for these in the US when it comes to the Tournament of Power look and the SH Figure Arts. The main one that I'm actually looking forward to is Android 18 and her pink tracksuit. That's the one I'm really looking forward to the most. I haven't decided if I want to get the new 17. I definitely want to get the new 18 when she does release. And we got Cell, and of course Frieza, and Goku Black, and Base Form and Super Saiyan Rose. Now I'm going to show you guys the figure that now means the most to me. So, for those that follow me on this channel, in the month of June, my father was in the hospital, and he's been battling pancreatic cancer, and he paid me $300 because I helped him a lot during his time before he passed. And he helped me buy a new phone, and I'm going to keep that phone. His favorite superhero was Superman. Superman's not really my favorite. But when I seen the movie Red Sun with, what country is this? Man, I can't think of the country now, but Soviet Union Superman figure looks so good, and I couldn't pass it up. But now it's one of my favorite figures because of the passing of my father. And for those that saw the video, you know, I lost my father last month on July 15th in the hospital due to cancer, and that's why this figure now is important to me, because this was the last figure he ever saw me buy. He did. My Walking Dead collection right here. He knew I liked the show. He knew I was a collector. But there were times where he didn't like me really buying figures. He didn't like me buying figures. But he knew I was a collector, and this was the last figure he ever saw me. I'm sorry guys if I'm choking up, but this was the last figure he saw me buy, because he didn't know me to really be into Superman. I'm really not, except for the comics and the movie version, from the animated version I should say, because he's more brutal, you know what I'm saying, than the live action movie. But this was the last figure that he saw me get, and that's why now it's important to me, you know. But yeah, this is my new Dragon Ball figure collection wall. I'm sorry that it's not filmed that too good. I'll show you guys why. So my bed is right here next to my figure wall, so that's what's all the noise. I'm sure you guys pretty much figured that out. This is my new updated Dragon Ball figure, you know, collection. And to give you guys a bit of advice, hey man, love your parents while you still have them, because you know, I haven't, you know, let me go like this. A bit of advice: love your parents while you still have them. Even if you may bump heads, you're gonna argue, you're gonna fight, but that comes natural. That's human nature. And for young men and for older adults, you know, older men, if your father's still alive, and if you don't have a relationship with your father right now because whatever happened, work on that. Work on that. Trust me, man, because if you don't, you'll regret it. And I'm glad that I had my father back in my life for the 6 months that I was able to have him. And we just talked things out. We actually came to understanding just by talking. Rather than fighting like we used to, things were better because we understood now just because of talking. He listened. In the end, you know, again, it sucks, but in the end, you know, I was happy that I had my father back in my life after 30 years of him not being in my life. You know, it's that old saying, you know, it's better to be better late than never, better 1 minute early than 1 minute late. And I'm sorry. It's just hard for me to. It is. I'm sorry, guys, but you know, it's my advice to a lot of older men. If your father's still alive, talk to him. Work on that while you can. For a lot of younger men who might have issues right now with their father, please patch that up, man. Do not wait. Do not do what happened with me and my father. Don't. I know this is supposed to be about a figure collection, but to me, I just wanted to end it like this. I'm sorry. I'm trying to hold it back, but I kicked myself in the ass for that. And I'm out.